over here. This place is nice, but it's not a home. Feels like I'm hiding down here. People like us, we need powerful friends if we're gonna make it in this world. Don't play coy. I see it in your eyes. You've killed people. Or you will. You've got the same urges as I do. Just between us, I hear the Dark Brotherhood is recruiting for some new blood. I'm gonna try my best to get their attention. You never heard of Tamriel's most elite guild of assassins? Rumor has it that if you take an innocent life and they notice, they'll offer you a place in the Dark Brotherhood. There, killers are free to pursue their true passion. Think about it. Word of advice. Urges aside, the Dark Brotherhood prefers to keep a low profile. Just remember, kill an innocent, get noticed. My sources say that recruiting is happening here in Anvil. I'll be at the docks if you want to talk some more. I don't want you to do anything. I'm just providing information. Letting you know that new opportunities are available if you're willing to spill a little blood. Don't take my willingness to help out as a sign or anything. I recognized a kindred spirit and suggested a way to satisfy your darkest urges. They'll get you killed if you don't keep them under control. And if you don't find the right allies. Hey, I don't know exactly how they select new recruits. I'm just telling you what I've heard. Maybe you just need to be in the right place at the right time. Like Anvil. Of course, I've also heard they have eyes everywhere, so what do I know? That's one of the best things about the Dark Brotherhood. It hides in plain sight. No one knows where its headquarters is or how many members it has, yet you can go into any library and read a book about them. It's brilliant, really. Quite a few, actually. My favorite is The Night Mother's Truth. It describes the origins of the Brotherhood, although it might all be theory and conjecture. But forget the books. Everyone knows the Brotherhood exists, and most people fear them. Fellowship, safety, and security, to name just a few. I understand there's also a steady flow of gold from all the contracts. And you get to kill people. Can you imagine a better guild to belong to? Better than picking pockets, if you ask me. I'm not one to reveal my sources, but Fat Grakal told me that he overheard Seaworthy Sarala say that there have been some mysterious murders committed on the Gold Coast. To me, nothing says Dark Brotherhood like mysterious murders. Oh, I got that from Margog the Hammer. Buy him a couple of ales and he spouts secrets like a bard spouts poetry. Just the other day, he told me that his cousin Crus killed a baker in Anvil. He received a mysterious visit that very night. You really don't know anything about the Brotherhood, do you? If they decide you're worthy enough to receive an invitation, one of their dark dignitaries shows up to deliver the news in person. It's kind of creepy, but it's also a singular honor.
You there. Wait for a moment, if you would. Pardon the interruption. I've been looking for you. Not me. But I have something for you. A letter. Confidential. Private. I have it here somewhere. Ah, yes. Here it is. Interesting. I'm also supposed to extend a verbal invitation to visit the lighthouse. Odd that they didn't just put that in the letter. Yes, the Anvil Lighthouse, just up the way. The sender ordered me to direct you there after I handed over the letter. I'm glad I found you. After looking for the woman with the eye patch all day, I figured I was in for a late night. Emily Crow? Do you know her? I gave her a letter right there on the Anvil docks. I have no idea where she went in such a hurry, but she seemed excited to receive it. Anyway, I have more deliveries to make before I can rest for the day. Farewell. Farewell.
Come closer and let me look into your eyes. No remorse, no mercy. Yes, you do have the eyes of a killer. How many lives ended looking into those eyes? Enough that the Night Mother has noticed, obviously. Which brings us both to this place and time. I am a speaker for the Dark Brotherhood. I speak with the voice of the Night Mother. I act with the hands of our dread father, Sithis. I have an offer to make to one so skilled in the art of murder. An invitation, if you will. As well you should. I am certain you have questions, but first, we must determine if you are worthy of joining the Dark Brotherhood. You take lives easily and without hesitation. We know that you can kill. Now show us that you can also obey. Splendid. We shall see how well you marry business with death. But first, allow me to present you with a gift. I shall teach you how to call upon a particular tool of our trade. A tool for dealing death, of course. One forged by unseen hands. The Blade of Woe. Wield it from the shadows, and its edge shall deliver your prey to Sithis in the void. In return, I expect only unwavering loyalty and ruthless efficiency. Now, let us discuss the task before you. A killing that shall form a covenant between us, signed in blood. The Imperial noble, Lord Quintus Gerol, has been marked for death by the Black Sacrament. Your task is simple. Find Gerol and kill him. That isn't a question we ask. Suffice to say, he offended someone enough to get them to perform the Black Sacrament. The Night Mother heard the prayer, and now Gerol must die. This is the task I have set before you. Excellent. The noble's estate can be found northwest of Anvil along the Gold Road. How you perform the execution is up to you. Just make sure Lord Quintus Gerol dies by your hand. Then your initiation into the Dark Brotherhood will be complete. Our unholy matron and the one true bride of Sithis. We are her children, forever wrapped in her cold, loving embrace. There will be time enough for more questions after you complete the task before you. Just know that she watches you. She loves you, as she loves all her children. Do not disappoint her. The Black Sacrament is the ritual by which a client procures the Dark Brotherhood's services. Using an effigy of the intended victim, the client pleads for the Night Mother to send an assassin to end the specified life. With no remorse, no regret. To put it simply, yes. The lives of the innocent and the guilty alike are ours for the taking, and every soul goes to Sithis, as long as the price is paid. Death is our craft, our religion, and our trade. And business, as always, is good. The wise traveler asks for directions before the path diverges. Never hesitate to rely on your fellow Brotherhood members once you complete your initiation. I assume you want to know what awaits you at the noble's estate? Killing requires few special skills, but reaching your target? That's the real task, isn't it? High walls, locked gates, and armed patrols protect the estate. There is another way to reach the estate grounds, if you're interested. A series of smuggler tunnels runs beneath the Withered Rose and leads directly to the estate's courtyard. That's the route I would take. And don't forget to bring lockpicks. Gerol is a cautious man. He never leaves a door unlocked behind him. The Withered Rose? A small hostel outside the city. Our lovely mother and daughter own the place, but they've had trouble making ends meet. The smuggler tunnels provide them with an alternate source of income, and they're perfect for your needs. The Black Sack, the Blade of Woe, is the ebony dagger of our Brotherhood. It is a single weapon, unique and powerful in the right hands. When one of our brothers or sisters needs the blade for a kill, it appears to help carry out the assassination.
Seriously, Quintus, I appreciate you providing a safe place for our meeting, but couldn't you have straightened up a bit before we got here?
My apologies, Governor Fortunata, but there's no safer place south of Varen's Wall than right here, vermin notwithstanding.
I don't know, Fortunata. This place seems to suit you.
That's no way to speak to your betters, Count Carolus. Speaking of which, finally turned Kavach over to a proper ruler. Your people deserve so much greater than you.
My lord and lady, please. We have a more pressing concern, and it affects us all.
Careful, Quintus. I won't be spoken to in such a manner. But you're right. The Dark Brotherhood grows stronger and threatens everything we've built here.
I forgot to mention, Primate Artorius sends his regrets, but Cathedral business forced him to remain in Kavach. He indicates that he will support whatever we decide.
I rule Anvil with an iron glove, but you walk all over Kavach, Count Carolus.
I govern, while Artorius handles spiritual matters and the Cathedral's defenders the Order of the Hour. I have allowed them to patrol Kavach until the murderer is apprehended.
Haven't the last few murder victims been suspected members of the Dark Brotherhood? Perhaps if we do nothing, this murderer will solve our problem for us.
I refuse to allow a vigilante to freely stalk the streets of my city. That is why I allowed Artorius to expand the Order of the Hour's authority.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think you and Artorius were building an army. Should I be worried, my dear Count?
Count Carolus, can we at least get your assurance that the Order will return to the Cathedral once this threat is resolved?
Primate Artorius gave me his word, and I give you mine.
And why should I trust either of them, Quintus? What good is their word when I find the Order at Anvil's walls?
That won't happen, Fortunata. We're not as ambitious and ruthless as you.
Despite his holy station, Artorius is a man. He has the same needs and desires as any other.
Lord Quintus, intruders have penetrated the estate. We need to move the three of you immediately.
Don't be alarmed, my friends. We prepared for any contingency. Commander, secure the halls. Make sure no one follows us.
Of course, my lord. We'll find the intruders.
Show yourself, assassin! Or are you another one of those Brotherhood cowards who prefers to strike from the shadows?
find gainful employment, Kirith. We just need to keep looking.
Well, look who it is. Did you get marooned here too? Now, before you ask, yes, we're in trouble again. And no, I don't know how we're going to get out of it. Maybe you can talk to Raynor and help us figure something out.
You don't know how glad I am to see a friendly face. You probably won't believe this, but Kirith and I are in trouble. Again. We could really use your help. An unpleasant ship captain dropped us off without so much as a by your leave. He was supposed to take us to Hammerfell to explore a dwarven ruin. We're scholars of some renown, you know. Although my sister prefers the term dungeon delvers. I'm not sure. The language of the sea confuses me. We just need to charter a ship to Sentinel. But that disagreeable captain took the last of our gold. We want to work, but no one will hire us. Perhaps you could serve as our agent in this matter. Ah, finally a turn of good fortune. You have a knack for arriving at just the right moment. You'll have no problem convincing these clods to hire us forthwith. Honestly, I'm extremely overqualified, but I'll take whatever employment you can secure. Hammerfell, Anvil, why does everything in this part of the world sound like it belongs in a smithy? Look, it was an honest mistake on my part. The captain claimed to be a proper sailor, and I took him at his word. I'm an artificer. If you ask me to recalibrate a dwarven power core, I'll ask you to what voltage. But determining where the captain made an error in his navigational calculations? You might as well ask me to charm the wings off a harpy. We're dungeon delvers, not paupers. Kirith and I won't accept charity, no matter how you present it to us. We'll earn our own way. Just find someone who's willing to hire us, and let us do some honest work. My letter of introduction opens doors throughout Morrowind, but in this isolated hamlet, I inquired with a blacksmith, but he wanted brawn, not brains. There was also the angler, but we were unable to agree on terms. You'd think so, wouldn't you? The Anvil Repository has a reputation for serving its clients poorly. I offered my skills as a bookkeeper, but the proprietor rejected me. If she reconsiders, I'd make a valuable addition to her team.
I usually see the tomb as half full, but even I was about to give up hope before you showed up. If you can help us raise the gold we need to leave this wretched city, we'd really appreciate it. Now that's a tale to make the brave little scrib cry. Raynor insists that the captain made a mistake, but I saw the contract they signed before we were marooned here. My brother chartered a ship to Anvil, not Sentinel. This is all his fault. He mixed up the names. Anvil, Hammerfell, they sound all the same to my brother. After we'd set sail, he said he couldn't wait to see the towers of Anvil. I reminded him we were sailing to Sentinel. So he ran to see the captain, but it was too late. We had a line on a new dwarven ruin. Well, not new, newly discovered. Anyway, it's near Tava's Blessing, and it's entirely fresh and unexplored. If me and Raynor can get there before the grave robbers, imagine the amazing things that we'll find. What? No! We're dungeon delvers, not tomb raiders. My brother has a deep and abiding respect for the dwarves. He's obsessed with learning everything he can about their ancient technology. Me? I just love to explore old places. It's my calling. I tried to handle a shift at the local tavern, but the customers couldn't keep their sweaty paws to themselves. You can't blame me for breaking a few fingers. They were touching my body after all. That's when the innkeeper's wife fired me. I thought about helping the rowdy Gua, but the ship's captain is a cheat. What I really want to do is sing. I've serenaded in taverns from Deshan to Eastmarch. I even received a standing ovation in Orsinium. Unfortunately, Anvil has no taste.
Sorry. Between my brother's problems with the forge and that load of ingots that the puny dark elf dropped on the docks, I am way too busy to talk right now. Yes, that was the dark elf's name. I gave him a fair chance, but I don't think he ever lifted anything heavier than a book in his entire life. We had to let him go. With the forge as it is, my brother can't pay a worker who can't do the job. If the Dark Elf can improve the forge, that would be a big help. But we still need those ingots. They were stolen after he abandoned the crate. The thieves use a dock outside the city. Get the ingots back, and I'll give Raynor another chance.
Welcome to the finest tavern on the Gold Coast. We know how to show a visitor a good time. You can bet your boat on that. If you're talking about that dark elf, she's a terrible serving wench. Sailors with broken fingers can't raise mugs, and sailors without mugs can't drink. Any barmaid who can't handle a little friendly attention has no place in my establishment. You'd have to compensate me for the lost business. How about this? I'm out of the petals I use to create an expensive drink for my more affluent customers. Bring me a weird blossom from the Garlas Malatar ruins, and I'll give Kirith another chance.
What a disaster. That bard gets in one scrap with a dark elf and suddenly he can't play tonight's show. She strained his finger. What does that even mean? Sorry, I'm rambling. The crowd gets rowdy when there's no music to listen to while they drink. Ha! The dark elf lass? Just about split my gut when I heard her yowling. Sounded like someone stuck a fork in a bantamguar and twisted it to the right. If that's what they call singing in Morrowind, I really need to pay them a visit. Interesting notion. We've had our share of bards and jesters, but never a jester who sings. At least the crowd will enjoy looking at her. Who knows? They might even like her act. Send Kirith over. I'll pay her well for an evening's entertainment.
I have to admit, I never expected to see you again. Were you able to recover our stolen ingots? We really couldn't afford to lose those ingots. Thank you. You have acted with honor, and we'll do the same. Inform Raynor he can come by and work on our forge. If he really can improve its operations, we'll compensate him fairly.
You took your time. I was starting to get worried. But tell me, were you successful? Have you secured gainful employment for Kirith and myself? Immediately? That seems rather sudden. Oh, very well. Kirith, did you hear? We can earn enough gold to continue our journey. It just required someone these depraved pirates could understand. Oh, I don't mean to imply that you're depraved, my friend. They need their forge tinkered with? Why didn't they say so? Not to wave my own flag, but I'm an excellent artificer. I'll have that forge operating at peak efficiency before they can recite 3 verses of Netches, Netches all around.
All right, I'm ready to hear the news now. What kind of job did you sign me up for? Bodyguard? Spy for the Pact? Private chef for a visiting dignitary? Tell me, tell me, tell me! That's wonderful news! Those drunken pirates are in for a treat. Thank you for negotiating an excellent deal. Now, what should I sing? Something from the Tribunal soliloquies? Maybe one of the Sujama drinking songs? So many choices! You did more for us than anyone in this wretched city. Raynor and I will do our jobs and complete our contracts. Then it's off to Hammerfell. There are ruins to explore, adventures to partake in. I'm all tingly with anticipation. A little work, a little gold, and we'll be in Sentinel in no time, thanks to you. Oh, you just missed it. My rendition of Rememberings from the Dark Elf musical Guaz brought the house down. It's a sad, touching number with a few light moments, but I've never seen a crowd laugh so hard. I guess I really nailed the high notes. I wrote a book about the ruins, and Raynor was able to make improvements to his control rod thingamabob, but we decided to pass on both the Academy and the Mages Guild. We learned that an independent life of adventure suits us just fine. Oh, you just missed a little? I'm not having any better luck with my new journal, though. The pages keep falling out. Raynor says I'm too hard on my books, but it has to be shoddy construction. They just don't make bindings like they used to. It's kind of disgraceful. Oh, you just missed... You and me both. I'm all for exploring new places, but that place was just wrong. I just wish everyone had made it back from that damn place. I miss King Dinar and poor Darian. He was kind of a flirt, but he had a hero's heart.
Have I mentioned how much I appreciate what you did for us? Working on the forge has really been quite relaxing. It all starts with a proper cleaning of the bellows. How all those rats got in there, I can't imagine, but they were baked to a crisp. Oh, definitely. Once word that I perfected a working control rod started to spread, we began to receive offers from across the land. That's why we're going to Sentinel. A patron offered to fund our exploration of a newly discovered Dwemer ruin. Have I mentioned... Oh, you know how it is with discoveries such as these. It takes a lot of effort to produce any meaningful results. And Kirith usually leaves that kind of work to me. A few. In fact, it was through information gleaned from the first couple of maps we extracted that led us to the ruins in Sentinel. Now all we have to do is get there before someone beats us to the punch. Have I mentioned Orsinium was an interesting city with a great museum, but it was time for us to move on. I know King Kurog did some terrible things, but it didn't feel right sticking around after he died. We were there at his invitation, after all.
My brother's forge may have seen better days, but he's still the best blacksmith on the Gold Coast. If you need something, you should talk to him.
We know that Quintus Gerol is dead. The Brotherhood has eyes everywhere. You have done well. The covenant is sealed, signed in blood. Welcome to the family, sister. We have been watching you for a long time. Killing the nobles simply sealed our covenant. Now you need to meet your brothers and sisters. I will send you to a sanctuary, a safe house of sorts, a home, as well as a source of additional contracts. Not far. It's the reason I summoned you to the Gold Coast. There is much work to accomplish here, and you will be a part of that. Your new home lies to the north, hidden beneath Varen's wall. Go there, and attempt to open the Black Door. The Black Door will pose a question. What is the flavor of fear? Reply, sublime, my brother, and the sanctuary shall be open to you. Once inside, seek out Astara. She has additional instructions for you. Of course. Since the formation of the Dark Brotherhood, our shadow has stretched across the entirety of Tamriel. Not every sanctuary has flourished, however, and our grip isn't as secure as we'd like in certain parts of the world. Not that it concerns you, but Vardenfell continues to be a source of irritation. The Gold Coast, however, presents an opportunity we can all profit from. Here we can establish a foothold that will serve the Brotherhood for generations to come. Just a little business I had to attend to. I do like to keep my dagger sharp, as it were. Her family had certain documents and presumed to make allegations that might have embarrassed the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood isn't that petty, but we do have certain obligations to uphold. I gave her the greatest gift of all, solace. Just as you gave the same gift to Lord Jarrell. And there will be many more gifts to grant before your work is done. I am the voice of the Night Mother. She conveys her will to the listener, who then passes it on to one of the 4 speakers of the Black Hand to carry out. The Black Hand, the instrument by which the Night Mother rules the Dark Brotherhood. It consists of 1 listener and 4 speakers, 4 fingers and a thumb. Never more, never less. The Black Hand oversees the sanctuaries, among other duties.
What is the flavor of fear? Well,
You must be the new initiate. The speaker sent word that you were on your way. I'm the matron of this sanctuary. Obey me without question, and I'm certain we'll get along just fine. And this is for you, Shrouded Armor, the uniform of the Dark Brotherhood. You're one of the family now. You might as well look the part. And since you showed such expertise with the Blade of Woe, take this as well. I expect great things, Initiate. We are all brothers and sisters, children of the Night Mother and our dread father. Even lone assassins need a family. Introduce yourself to the others. They can provide advice and information, even support for your more challenging contracts. Eager, are you? That's good. Then go and talk to Elam Drawls. He handles lesser contracts for the new initiates. Prove yourself to him, and more interesting assignments will follow. Welcome to the family. Explore the sanctuary, meet the others, at least the ones currently at home. I believe Green Venom Tongue, Kor, Hildegard, Mirabelle, Simbar, and Tannic are available. When you're done, Elam should have a new task for you to accomplish. The past isn't something we talk about here. For most of us, our lives didn't really begin until we were called to serve the Night Mother. And I was called at a very early age. No one joins the Brotherhood and immediately steps into a position of power. That's not how we do things. I had to prove myself, show that I was dedicated to the Night Mother and her tenets. I served for many years before I earned my title. The Sanctuary has always been my home in the Brotherhood, if that's what you're asking. I've seen the Gold Coast change over the years, but that's enough questions about me. I wouldn't want to think you were taking my measure for some reason. Where did you... Oh, they were discussing that at the Noble's estate, were they? Bastards! It's true. Someone has been killing our brothers and sisters. When the hunters become the hunted, it's like the world has gone askew. We're investigating the matter. It's not unusual for our pasts to catch up with us, and it's not like we have a shortage of enemies. We'll learn the identity of this killer, and then there will be a reckoning. True. Few have the audacity to openly oppose us, but there are many who would love to see the Brotherhood abolished. This feels different. Stay vigilant. Keep your eyes open and report anything you notice as you execute your duties. A little ambition is good for the soul, but only a little. Complete the contracts assigned to you. It's as simple as that. Every life you send to Sithis pleases the Night Mother and raises your profile. Complete enough jobs, and you'll be rewarded. We'll trust you with more difficult contracts, assign you more high-profile targets. The awards are greater, and we'll ask you to help with matters of importance to the Brotherhood. But don't get ahead of yourself. Start with Elam's contracts first.
So you're the new initiate. You're certainly cuter than the last one. And why wouldn't she, darling? I am her favorite after all. As a matter of fact, I'm everyone's favorite. I'm sure you'll agree soon enough. Anyway, it's a pleasure to meet you. May the Night Mother forever hold you in her cold and loving embrace. Forward. Believe me, this is my shy and unimposing side. After all, we wouldn't want to give my beloved Simbar the wrong idea, would we? Find me later, and I'll show you what forward really looks like. Oh, you really are too easy, my darling. I'm just having fun with you. I suppose I get that from my family heritage. The Motiers are rich, powerful, and blessed with good looks, and a wicked sense of humor. Just play along and enjoy. Oh, there's nothing noble about my family. But I left that all behind. The wealth, the boredom, the servants waiting on me hand and foot. One day, I strangled my handmaid with a golden chain. And here I am. Life in the Brotherhood suits me. You shouldn't know anything, darling. We're a secret organization, after all. I suppose I can tell you that we serve the Night Mother. Her cold embrace binds us together. Never dishonor her. Our contracts aren't mere tasks. We carry out her will. Sweet mother, send your child unto me, for the sins of the unworthy must be baptized in blood and fear. These words, as part of a complex ritual, form the Black Sacrament, the means by which those in need pray to the Night Mother. Our mother hears the prayer and whispers to the listener. The listener sends a speaker to arrange the details and create the contract. Then the speaker selects an assassin to carry out our mother's will. It's more than just a job. It's a calling. This just got much too serious for my taste, darling. Let's talk about something, I don't know, more decadent. Like how I'd be nibbling on your ear if Simbar wasn't here. He's watching, isn't he? Maybe a little nibble is in order, A few. The speaker sends new initiates to the sanctuary every so often. New blood, you understand. Before you, there was a charming young lad from Glenumbra. Van something, I believe. A shame, really. He was too scrumptious to die so soon. Mind your tongue, initiate. We're the murderers, not the victims here. But I suppose the circumstances were somewhat unusual? Someone left Van pinned to the wall of the inn in Kvatch, held up with multiple daggers. When I find the villain... You don't hunt the hunters. The Brotherhood hunts you. Anything else is a crime against the natural order. But enough of this dark talk. We're just working ourselves into a tizzy. I'd much rather get excited about something more enticing.
I've got more bounties on my head than anyone else in the sanctuary. It's not that I get caught in the act of killing, Night Mother forbid. It's just that I appreciate a good challenge. So I let a witness notice me every so often.
Ah, I heard we had a new initiate on the premises. I was just checking my notes and realized the details concerning you are sorely lacking. We'll need to rectify that before too long. She did. Interesting. I wonder what she's planning this time. Well, I'm certain everything will become clear, eventually. Even you, I suppose. Aren't you familiar with the cherished Black Marsh custom? Consuming various venomous concoctions to bolster our natural immunity? I drank so much my tongue turned green. Ha! The new initiates fall for that every time. And you as well, Initiate. I look forward to interviewing you at length when you have some time. For my journals, of course. I keep meticulous records. I'll help you, you'll help me. Isn't that what the Bretons call a win-win? What more could you possibly need to know? I am a Shadow Scale. My life begins and ends with the Dark Brotherhood. I could have sworn I explained this before. Let me check my notes. Well, like other Argonians born under the sign of the Shadow, I was taken upon hatching and trained to be an assassin. That makes me a good killer. A very good killer. What an intriguing inquiry. Attempting to ascertain if I actually like it here, or something more subtle. Well, like or dislike is meaningless. I serve the Matron as I served my former sanctuary, and as I served Black Marsh when called upon. The river carries us where it will, and that's all I prefer to say about that at this time. I was there, now I am here, as are you, Initiate. Perhaps, depending upon what you mean by something and me. Rest assured, whatever musings and observations I record herein are strictly confidential. Now this one I know I've written down. Study the 5 tenets, learn them, memorize them, live them. There's a copy in the sanctuary, someplace. I'd let you look at this one, but I don't let anybody read my journals. That would be inadvisable. Such a curious mind. Then listen carefully, Initiate. Contracts must be taken seriously. Always obey the Matron's instructions to the letter, and don't get yourself killed. Though that probably goes without saying.
So you're the new recruit, huh? No, don't tell me your name. I'll, just call you New Blade. It's easier to remember, and, it's not like I'm gonna know you for very long. Yes, New Blade. That's so much better. Oh, I didn't mean to offend you. I just believe in full disclosure. We've lost an initiate and a fully trained assassin recently. Mirabelle's in denial, but I know what's happening. Someone's hunting the Brotherhood, and you make a tempting target. Sure you can. So could Derisa. She still ended up face down in an anvil alley with her throat slit from ear to ear. Whoever murdered her has some impressive skills. I'll give them that. Stay sharp, New Blade. We're not alone in the shadows anymore. Oh, it's a long and sordid tale, full of romance and daring do. Or if you prefer the short version, I was apprenticed to a smith in Sentinel. Loved the trade, hated my master. He liked to hammer more than just metal. When I had enough, I killed him. Oh no, that was just the beginning of my story. I was young and stupid back then. I ran, but apparently not far or fast enough. Got to spend some quality time in a Hammerfell dungeon for my actions. 8 years, if I recall correctly. Well, it wasn't sunshine and camel milk, but I survived. Met some people, learned some lessons. When one of the guards got slumpy, I was ready to act. Simple as that. Of course, my old life was over, but at least I was free. Hey, I had to make a living. I was branded as a killer, so killing was what I did. Worked for the crime boss Bashira for a while. Then I had a visit one night. The speaker scared the piss out of me, but I couldn't refuse his generous offer. The Dark Brotherhood has been good to me. They taught me to focus my anger, to let the Dread Father work through me. I have a home, an income, and a set of rules to live by. Life makes sense to me here in the Sanctuary. Oh, New Blade, there are always rules. The trick is to learn what they are before you get your hand caught in the sweet roll box. For us, it's all about the 5 tenets. I'm sure there's a book about them somewhere in the sanctuary. Durisa and Van. One was an experienced assassin who knew her business. The other was a raw recruit with hardly any blood on his blade. Kinda like you, new blade. It could have been coincidence, but I think they were targeted by the same killer. Just a feeling, I guess. And the way they were left for all the world to see. Someone was proud of their work and wanted everyone to know it. And it had to be a professional. Durisa was too good to be taken down by an amateur. Matron Astara tells us what to think, not the other way around. But yes, we've talked about this. All we can do is stay alert and try to figure out who's behind the murders. Until then, we're just jumping at shadows. Very dangerous shadows.
Come on now, Hilda. Don't be shy. Sorry, she can be skittish around strangers. New sister! Welcome! Welcome! You need anything at all, you come to me, yes? Of course! It's important to get to know everyone. You're part of the family now, and family helps each other. It's what we do. Oh, that's not a werewolf. Well, I guess it is. But it's also little Hildegard. She's really sweet, but you'll need to say hello later. She still doesn't have the hang of controlling her transformations. Hildegard is like the little sister I never had, but her true family was awful. They drank the blood of werebeasts. It's a dangerous practice, but not entirely unheard of in Nordlands. They even forced their children to participate. We assume so. But as to why she can't control her transformations, that remains a mystery. She lost control one day and hurt another member of the tribe. They cursed her and she ran away. I found her later. She was confused, alone, nearly mad. I'm a skilled hunter. Taming animals is almost second nature to me. It took time, but she came to trust me. Accepted me as her big brother. Before that happened, though, she nearly tore my face off. See? I still have the scar. I always liked to hunt and fight. I became a soldier, but that turned out to be more about waiting around than actual battle. So I sold my sword as a mercenary, made some enemies, and soon found out that other sellswords were being paid to kill me. Indeed I did. Kept a low profile in town, spent most of my time in the wilderness. I almost decided to stop running, and then I found little Hilda. She became my reason to go on living. Well, you know, there are some things we just don't talk about in public. I hope you understand. I will tell you that we love it here. We're part of the best family in the whole world, and we're glad to have you with us. I'm sure Hilda agrees.
You must be the new initiate. I've heard some unbelievable things about you. Still, you can't be too good. Your name hasn't appeared on one of my contracts yet. What? Oh, that's a Dark Brotherhood joke. Don't you have a sense of humor? Did she now? Are you sure that's what she told you to do? Wouldn't want you to get in trouble your first day in the sanctuary. Now that you're here, we might as well discuss your training. Don't repeat what I say. It annoys me. Now, where was I? Oh yes, your training. Complete a contract, receive a reward. Prove yourself, and more significant contracts will be made available to you. It's simple, really. I don't expect you to last a week, but as long as you're still here. Ready for your first contract, Initiate? Not everyone appeals to the Dark Brotherhood through the Black Sacrament. For those with copious amounts of gold to spare, we usually indulge their more mundane requests. Are you ready to take on your first contract? Typically, you'll consult the ledger marked for death. but I've handpicked something special for your first job. Travel to the city of Kvatch, identify the target listed on this contract, then eliminate them. I encourage you to practice with the Blade of Woe, but as long as the target dies, it doesn't really matter how you kill them. Can you manage that? What are you standing around for? I'm not much to look at, and neither is this room. Anyone can find a reason to kill someone. Ambition, jealousy, humiliation. I once killed for a jester who couldn't take a joke. Careful who you heckle in Stormhaven. Me? I'm flattered. No, that's not the right word. Uncomfortable? Yes, that's it. Well, whatever do you want to know about me for? Not the brooding type? Good. They're a bore. I've been with Astara at this sanctuary since its inception. More years than I care to remember. In that time, I've done enough contract killing to know how to drum up business. It's my charm.
Isn't that funny? I was just thinking about you. What brings you to this pious city? No, wait, don't answer that. I don't think I want to know. On the other hand, if you're interested in a little mischief, I could really use your help. Oh, just discrediting Grand Chanter Surus and his Society of the Dragon. They claim to be a religious order, but they're nothing more than a cult that loves Akatosh a bit too much. And anyone who questions their faith tends to disappear. I didn't until my sister Jocelyn joined them. She has no idea what Surus does to people. Take these notes and preach the word of Boethia around town. After the Grand Chanter arrests you for heresy, my sister will see how he treats you and leave. Just like old times. After this, first drink's on me. Now go and spread Boethia's word to the cult's initiates. Once they detain you, we'll show my sister exactly how Surus treats those who disagree with him. Just don't disappear along the way. Grand Chanter Surus isn't your typical Akatosh priest. He enjoys filling impressionable heads with religious nonsense, and he has a violent streak as long as Varen's wall. Rumors say that if he can't fill your head, he'll remove it. Literally. A plan? Yes, I have a plan. But let's not spoil the surprise. Just be ready for my signal and follow my lead. Now get out there and spread some heresy. I can't wait to see how the Society initiates Squirm. Who knows why a young woman in the prime of her life would throw away everything to take up with a bunch of religious fanatics. I suppose it had something to do with that job that went sideways when I had to kill Jocelyn's best friend. I'm afraid I had no choice. A rival of mine hired him to kill us when we attended a meeting. I learned his true intentions too late to decline the invitation. I never let my enemies make the first move, so I ended him before he could end us. Jocelyn was mad at me, mad at him, mad at life in general. She decided that piracy wasn't for her. She wanted to serve a higher purpose. Unfortunately, this particular higher purpose is worse than piracy. It hides its killing behind religion. Grand Chanter Surus is a high-ranking priest in the cathedral, second only to Primate Artorius himself. He started the society for religious types who aren't ready to join the priesthood. They claim to be devoted to Akatosh and his teachings. Only if you believe Akatosh requires the beheading of people the Grand Chanter doesn't like. When my sister refuses an order, I'd rather not have her head on the chopping block. Nothing against religion, but this cult isn't right for my sister. Well, members that join the society are cut off from their friends and family, and anyone that tries to quit disappears. No one knows what happens to them, by the way. Oh, and I did mention the secret beheadings, didn't I?
Akatosh bless you, outsider. What brings you to our humble town? I won't listen to the lies of a Daedra worshipper. I'll summon the Grand Chanter. He'll deal with you. May Akatosh and the Divine smile upon you this day and all the days to come. If you're interested, I can tell you all about the Society of the Dragon. How can you say such things? You monster!
Murder is a filthy business in the eyes of Akatosh.
Do not despair. Akatosh watches over us always. Lift your weary head and give praise. How dare you utter such blasphemy in this holy city? The Grand Chanter shall hear of this.
Lord Akatosh, the dragon god of time, brings fire in the cold of night and light in the depths of darkness. There's room for you in the Society of the Dragon. All you have to do is say the word. That's enough blasphemy out of you for one day. The Grand Chanter wants to have a word with you. Your foul words have consequences, heretic. The Grand Chanter has ordered you to appear before him. Problem? Yes, there is a problem. You're preaching Boethiah's lies to the faithful initiates of the Society of the Dragon. The Grand Chanter won't stand for that, and neither will I. He orders you to appear before him in the Chamber of Penance. The Grand Chanter fears nothing, least of all a pathetic Daedra who pales in comparison to the mighty dragon god. Now go see the Grand Chanter and face your judgment, or I'll gut you here and now.
Lieutenant, how has this heretic transgressed against the dragon god?
By spreading the word of Boethia to the initiates.
There is only one punishment for blasphemy. Behead them.
What? Isn't that a little extreme?
You dare question the will of Akatosh?
It doesn't say anything about beheadings in the Book of Akatosh.
Silence, Initiate. Lieutenant, deliver Akatosh's justice.
Is this the life you hoped for, Jocelyn?
Larissa! I should have known. I'm leaving.
I like the sound of that. Time to go. I appreciate you not slaughtering everyone in there. A holy bloodbath wouldn't have served us any better than you getting your head chopped off. Unfortunately, Jocelyn is as slippery as I am. She snuck away before we had a chance to talk. Quite the opposite. Jocelyn fled with us, which means we gave her plenty to think about. I'd guess she's gone to one of the old Akatosh shrines along Varen's wall. Let's split up. If you find her first, politely ask her to wait for me to arrive. Remember, check the shrines along Varen's wall, and do try to keep the mayhem and slaughter to a minimum.
Well met, Pilgrim. Have you come to pray? Best keep looking, then. I've been out here most of the day, but you're the first soul I've seen. So many in Kvatch have forgotten the old ways. They're all obsessed with their giant cathedral. They've forgotten how we used to worship. Shame that.
Do you make a habit of accosting strangers at shrines of worship? Those zealots are the worst thing to happen to Kvatch in 60 years, and I've lived through 8 wars in the corrupt reign of the Longhouse Emperors. If you're looking for more of their kind, inquire in Kvatch rather than bothering pious folk.
I knew I would find you here, blasphemer! Die!
You're working for my sister, right? How did you find me? No, never mind. Just tell me if you're here to talk or to kill me. Oh, just those little things I noticed. Like that cold look in your eyes. Or your rants about the splendor of Boethia. Isn't killing what a disciple of the warrior prince does best? Yeah, about that. I'm done with the Society of the Dragon. Turns out religion doesn't really agree with the women in my family. Especially not a crazy cult with a murderous priest for a leader. Now you're starting to really curl my spine. I could ask you the same. Just what were you doing spouting that Boethia nonsense in Kvatch? Are you some sort of Daedra out to prove a point? Are you Sheogorath? That was unconvincing. Who taught you how to lie? Besides, even Sheogorath has too much self-respect to be involved with this family drama. Oh look, my sister's coming. What a surprise. I suppose I should put my knives away now.
Jocelyn, could you be any more predictable?
My dear sister, I knew you'd find me. Are you here to kill me too?
My sister appears to be safe and sound. She's surprisingly calm, even if she's still mad about what I did to her friend. That's better than I expected. Thank you for your help. I couldn't have exposed Grand Chanter Surus's corruption without you. That's sweet, but you've already done more than enough. You helped me show my sister the truth about the Society of the Dragon. She's safe now, and our plan worked exactly as I'd hoped. I couldn't have saved Jocelyn without your help. Thank you.
Every time you help me, someone winds up dead. Couldn't you let me deal with this myself?
I didn't like the way we left things, Jocelyn. And when I realized what the Grand Chanter was up to...
So my big sister sails in to rescue me. Again, tell me, how many did the Grand Chanter kill?
At least 3 people since I've been paying attention. I haven't been in town that long.
So you called in Sheogorath over there?
I know you're angry, but he really would have killed you, Jocelyn. I couldn't let that happen.
You don't have to worry about me anymore. I'm done with the Society, and I'm done with Kvatch. But I am not going with you.
Fair enough. But anytime you need me, I'll be there.
I know. Goodbye, sister.
There goes Jocelyn, off to who knows where to do who knows what until I have to go and pull her hair out of the fire again. Oh, I could use a drink. A strong drink. Why didn't you meet me in Anvil, and we'll drink to our success? Decided to take me up on that offer of a drink? Good. I don't mind drinking alone, but I could use the company. Besides, Howler just gets mean when he's had a few mugs of ale. Wonderful. Telenil's done a remarkable job in growing our fortune. Harridan and Mikog are in fighting shape, and patrols have grown sparse since the war in Cyrodiil. I've got nothing against Captain Colleen, mind you, but a woman needs her own ship. Not that I'd ever kiss and tell, my dear, but if nothing else, I remain amused by his advances. Do you know he memorized a book of Redguard poetry and quoted it at me? That was almost charming. And of course there was the trained monkey. It wore an adorable hat and clutched a wrapped gift. Perhaps Jakarn thought that since I enjoy Howler's company, the way to my heart was through a monkey. Howler chased the creature off, so I have no idea what was in the box. It's what we do. She'll come back when she gets bored, or she needs something. She always does. Howler's a bit disappointed he didn't get more time with her, but he'll get over it. Nothing a few dozen mugs of ale won't cure.
Oh, Emperor Varen, you've lost weight. That's good, yes? Fit and lean, a true inspiration for the troops. Oh, a ruse, is it? You're not supposed to leave the Imperial City, I understand. Never fear, Emperor Varen, my lips are sealed. Oh, right. Not Emperor Varen, just a stranger come to use the forges. Feel free. I'll not tell the legions, not me.
You're back, I see. How could I not? You're standing in my light. So tell me, how did you do? Well, good for you. But don't get too full of your accomplishments just yet. That was a fairly easy contract I started you with. Come back when you're ready for more. If the Speaker or the Matron give an order, though, that takes priority.
The Grand Sermonizer is at it again, Matron.
Those loudmouth fanatics! It's time to teach them a lesson about the blessings of silence!
Enough. I'll decide how we respond to these malign sermons. Initiate, I have a task for you. Once again, the pious idiots of Kvatch dare to provoke the anger of the Dark Brotherhood. Such an insult cannot be allowed to stand unchallenged. As if the Grand Sermonizer didn't have enough vices to rage about, now she's preaching against the Brotherhood. She says we are weak, powerless, a toothless dragon that inspires ridicule instead of fear. These lies must be silenced, permanently. Be wary. The Order of the Hour has increased its presence in Kvatch. Avoid the warrior priests if you can. Meet up with Tannic and silence the priests that speak against us, including the Grand Sermonizer. That will put the fear of Sithis in them. Tannic will meet you in Kvatch. I expect the two of you to deal with the Grand Sermonizer and show the people of that hypocritical city the real power of the Dark Brotherhood. The Grand Sermonizer and her priests spread lies about the Brotherhood for reasons I do not yet understand. Whether she seeks to insult us or acts upon some misguided tenet of faith, our response is clear. These impudent priests must die. She's one of the ranking priests at the Cathedral of Kvatch, right below Primate Artorias in the hierarchy. She won't be easy to find, however. Killing her subordinates may draw her out. Otherwise, rely on Tannic to locate the hole she's hiding in. Primate Artorias leads the Cathedral of Akatosh in Kvatch. The chanters and sermonizers bow to his authority as the chosen of the Dragon God, and even the Order of the Hour follows his commands. Pious and faithful, I find the man to be insufferable. Caution becomes the appropriate response after the deaths of 2 assassins, Initiate. But make no mistake, I expect you to assassinate the Grand Sermonizer. Tannic will be there to provide assistance, nothing more. Under normal circumstances, no. These recent attacks against us, however, have made circumstances far from normal. Concentrate on the Grand Sermonizer. That's your primary mission. The common folk fear us. The political leaders tolerate us. And everyone who needs someone dead and can pay the cost hires us without hesitation. Our reputation remains strong. But these attacks by the Sermonizers, they're obviously up to something. It could be anything. Certainly Primate Artorias and his priests have little love for the Brotherhood. I wonder, does the Cathedral plan to outlaw the Black Sacrament? Would they dare such an action? Regardless, these sermons are bad for business.
Initiate, I have my own contract in Kvatch. I'll join you in Tannic as soon as I'm finished.
3 blades on the same contract? Is that wise, Matron?
Just make sure the Grand Sermonizer dies, Initiate. That's my chief concern.
This is an absolute insult to Simbar. The old Astara would never send other assassins to finish a job unless she knew the assassin had failed. We haven't even heard back from Simbar yet. But I shouldn't question the matron. She is our leader. Killing the Grand Sermonizer is Simbar's current contract. There's no reason to believe he won't complete the job. This paranoia, it doesn't suit us. We're better than this. It's true that removing the Grand Sermonizer would send a crucial message. The public needs to know that the loss of a few assassins does nothing to diminish us. Just follow the matron's orders. I'll keep my objections to myself. This isn't advice. Just stay out of Simbar's way and let him finish the job. But feel free to kill as many of those annoying street preachers as you like. I despise those windbags. Just keep an eye out for the city guards. You're not ready to deal with them.
Oh, hello. Sorry about not greeting you earlier. I wasn't exactly in a talkative mood when you arrived. I suppose it's just, well, my condition. The lycanthropy. My transformations. I can't trigger them at will. And they don't follow any pattern we've been able to discern. Venom called it a divergent strain. I am not sure what that means. I guess so. Usually I can feel it coming. Kind of like when Kor feels a storm in his big toe. As long as I can get out of the sanctuary or into my cage before I lose control, I won't hurt anybody. At least, not any of the family. I don't think I want to be cured. The wolf is a part of me. It's who I am. I would like to learn to control it, though. Kor and Mirabelle think I'll get the hang of it eventually. Venom even keeps meticulous records every time I change. Neither do you, come to think of it. Is it bad to be different? I may not have the training or experience of some of the others, but Astara says I am the best tracker in the family. Whenever our target tries to hide, I always find them. The wolf kills. That is its purpose. Astara taught me that I become a wolf in order to accomplish what the Night Mother requests of her children. My prey already belongs to Sithis. The wolf just helps them find the void. I don't remember much of what the wolf does. Kor assures me that I am never cruel when I send souls to Father. I trust my brother, and I trust Astara. They saved me, gave me something to believe in. For that, I am happy to serve the Dark Brotherhood.
Make no mistake, Initiate. Astara sends you to Kvatch, not because she trusts you. She's decided to test you. Do not fail her. An average priest is easy prey. But don't underestimate the Grand Sermonizer. I heard whispers that she's a highly trained spellcaster. If that turns out to be true, please let me know. I like to keep my records up to date. Make no mistake, I never question the matron, although it is strange for her to so hastily send multiple brethren to deal with a single target. It is almost as though she knows more than she is telling us. Of course, she almost always does.
I was wondering how long it would take you to get here. Didn't Astara instill you with a sense of urgency about this mission? She must be getting tender-hearted after all these years. Yes, I say so. I find life to be a complicated series of pranks and pratfalls. Besides, this is your mission. I'm only here to observe and offer assistance if you get in over your head. Speaking of which, try not to get captured or killed today. No, that would be boring. You start murdering the Sermonizer's priests while I take on the real challenge. I'll locate her hiding spot. Then I'll find you so we can kill her together. That will put the fear of the Brotherhood in the Kvatch people. Be stealthy or slaughter everyone that gets in your way. Whichever works best for you. They all wind up with Sithis in the end, so what's the worry? Now, let's get out there and deal with the Grand Sermonizer and her lying priests. Time to dip our daggers in Sermonizer blood. Watch your back, New Blade. Our quarry stirs below.
Grand Sermonizer, have you discovered the location of the sanctuary yet?
Unfortunately, this assassin expired before revealing anything useful.
I'll capture another. Try not to kill this one before we learn the location of the Dark Brotherhood's lair.
Lord Akatosh, hear our prayer. Just prepare the body, like so.
Who is that black-armored warrior? Some kind of mercenary? Now's our chance. Follow me. She tortured Simbar. Such an insult to the family cannot stand. At least he knew how to hold his tongue. What foul magic is this? New Blade, beware. I feel so weak. I can't move.
2 assassins? I didn't know they came in pairs. With the proper motivation. This is unexpected. The Black Dragon admires your kind, but I don't see what the attraction is.
Should sit here and see who comes for me first. Sithis or Tall Papa?
Tanik, are you planning to just lay down and die?
They knew we'd come for Simbar. Trapped his body with some kind of foul death magic.
Get up, you milk drinker! Sithis still has work for you to do. Initiate. The Grand Sermonizer is yours. I'll get Tanik home.
Your dark Brotherhood!
Kor brought Tanik home injured but alive. He told me you went after the Grand Sermonizer. Tell me, has the deed been done? Simbar was one of our best. To allow himself to be captured like that. I didn't think that either the Grand Sermonizer or the Order of the Hour was capable of such a feat. Why go to all that trouble, I wonder? Black armor. I've heard rumors of such a warrior, but to seek the location of our sanctuary. It appears we're at war with an unknown adversary. I need to think about this. By the way, Tanik woke up and asked to see you.
Simbar's dead. Do you really think I want to talk to you right now?
A good showing, slaying the Grand Sermonizer. A pity Simbar paid for his failure with his life. Keep your blades sharp and your wits sharper. Otherwise, we may see a similar end to your story. Even so, I have recorded it all. For posterity, of course. I never question the matron, although it is strange for her to so hastily send multiple brethren to deal with a single target. It is almost as though she knows more than she is telling us. Of course, she almost always does. A good show. I felt no particular emotions concerning him whatsoever. Not all of us form attachments so easily. I care about performing my duties under the shadow of Sithis. That includes following the tenets. I aid my brothers and sisters when I can. Beyond that, I'd rather not say. For another time, perhaps. At present, I suggest you focus on your contracts. Take care getting too personal with your brothers and sisters. Attachments can become a distraction.
Don't worry, Tannic. A cask of mead, and you'll be back on your feet in no time.
Shit, your mead tastes like bee vomit. I think I'll pass.
Oh, Tannic, I hate that this happened to you.
You worry more than the matron, Hildegard. I'll be as good as new before you know it. Ah, the new blade has arrived. Give us the room if you would, Cor.
Certainly, Tannic. But I still expect you to be completing contracts again in a few days.
I'll do my best not to disappoint you.
Take your time, Tannic. I am going to go say a prayer for your quick recovery.
Cor and Hildegard mean well, but they're worse than a couple of mother hens. You're alive. Does that mean the Grand Sermonizer is no longer with us? We're not certain what kind of magic the Grand Sermonizer placed upon Simbar's body. But I'd be dead too, if not for you and Cor. I'm indebted to you both. And I'll make sure that everyone remembers Simbar's bravery. He refused to give up our secret, no matter what the Grand Sermonizer did to him. It does make me wonder about the warrior who was able to defeat him, though. Simbar could easily best me in a fight, and that warrior bested him. If you encounter her again, don't underestimate her skills and abilities. She's hunting the hunters, and that's a game I have no desire to play. A chance to beat your record. How many of the Sermonizer's priests did you murder anyway? Seriously, New Blade, stay sharp out there. The roots of our trouble stretch deep below the soil. Things are gonna get worse, my friend. Mark my words.
I can't believe Simbar is dead. And Tannic would have met the same fate if not for you.
Ah, Initiate. I should be more pleased that the Grand Sermonizer is dead. But I can't help feeling that a storm gathers on the horizon. Elam mentioned that the contracts were stacking up. I suspect he'd appreciate your help if you'd be so kind.
Look, no offense, but I don't exactly fall into the whole family thing. I'm here to work. Unless my job is to kill you, I don't see what we have to talk about.
I see our family has grown. Good, good. But mind what you say. Our connection to the family is a closely guarded secret, and I prefer to keep it that way.
Why do you disturb me, Initiate? Yes, praise Sithis. The Black Sacrament has been performed, and we have a new target. The Night Mother awaits her due. Before I give you the name, I would like to propose a challenge. An opportunity to demonstrate your prowess. Indulge me, and I will reward you. Your target awaits in Trader's Cove. Fortuitous. It seems there's some kind of party going on in that cave. Slaying revelers is ever so satisfying. You'll be seen as a trespasser there, so if you want to avoid a bounty, then you should avoid being seen. Fear is one of the Brotherhood's greatest allies, but we treasure silence as well. Show me that you are the master of quiet dread. Complete your task without alerting the residents of Trader's Cove to your presence. The Night Mother's children must be as swift as they are deadly, like the strike of a coiled serpent. With that in mind, I challenge you to complete your task before the Cove Overseer arrives. The Brotherhood is not without mercy. Some of our targets are given a quick and painless death. Others, well, our kindness has limits. Your quarry must die in agony. Use your most lethal poisons, and you will be richly rewarded. Nalusi Orethi, a dark elf scale catcher. He made his fortune capturing escaped slaves, you see. So a few dozen Argonian captives pooled their assets and performed the sacrament as revenge. Kill this slaver. A toothless Bandari peddler named Tabeba. Apparently she swindled our client out of some treasured family memento. The memento is long gone. Lost in a dice game, I think. So we were called on out of spite. Kill this cat.
They're on their way.
What are you writing?
Tallying the stupid questions you've asked today. 8, if you were wondering.
Why do I even bother?
That makes 9.
Void take you, brother.
Your task is clear, Initiate. Execute it. Is it done, Initiate? Well done. What about the challenges that I posed for this task? Excellent. The Night Mother will be pleased. Return tomorrow. I am eager to see you reach your full potential.
The listener said you would come to me. The listener sent me to deliver the Litany of Blood. I placed it before the Night Mother's shrine. She said the book is meant for the killer who tasted death. While that could refer to anyone in the sanctuary, I believe she intends it for you. A test, perhaps? A message, most certainly. Your brothers and sisters have gazed upon it and seen nothing but blank pages. They found it to be comforting, calming, but totally empty. Perhaps your eyes will see something more. Go and look at the Litany of Blood. If you see nothing, then you aren't the one I supposed you to be. The listener sent me to deliver the Litany of Blood. That's all you need to know, and more than I want to say. The listener and the 4 speakers make up the Black Hand, the ruling council of the Dark Brotherhood. You might even say she's the leader of the council. The listener hears the words of the Night Mother and whispers them to the speakers. As blank as the stare in a dead man's eyes. But go ahead and see for yourself. I'm curious to find out if the listener is right about you, if you can see what's really there. Tell me, Assassin, what did you see? So the listener was right. Tell me, what did you see? What a blessing you've received. The Night Mother has chosen you to fulfill the Litany of Blood. Let me ask you this. Did the passages make any sense to you? Of course. The targets must be marked in some way. Easier than I would make it, but who am I to question the listener? It's clear to me that you must decipher the Litany of Blood and kill the targets inscribed on its pages. What else would a book provided by the listener contain? Determine each target and assassinate them. Beyond that, the will of Sithis isn't for you or I to question. Your task won't be easy, but the listener has faith that you will succeed. You've been given a sacred duty. Perform it well and bring honor to the Night Mother and your sanctuary, assassin. Your brothers and sisters would kill to have been chosen for such a task. There are no wrong people. The Dread Father welcomes every soul you send him, aside from your brothers and sisters. Obey the 5 tenets, and you have no fear of invoking the wrath of Sithis. The listener required someone special for this task, but the Black Hand wasn't sure who to assign it to. The Night Mother always provides, though. You can read the litany. I'm sure there are clues among its words. Did you have a brush with death? It would fit, and it would explain your special sight, the reason you can read the litany. The last part is easier to interpret. Make ritual offerings with your sacred blade. The assassin's blade you were given access to when you were initiated. The Blade of Woe. It's a symbol and a sacred instrument, the will of Sithis made manifest. I'm sure the blade will play an important role as you complete the litany.
Good news to report? Ugh, Thalmor bureaucrats are some of the most humorless people I've ever murdered. I used some of my best material on one target, and he barely cracked a smile as I gutted him. There's just no accounting for taste. Oh, here's your... Never had much use for royalty. Kings and queens expecting everyone to kneel and grovel. I made a target kneel and grovel once, just to see what it was like. I suppose I could get used to it, but I enjoyed slitting his throat even better. Your pay.
Ah, friend. Am I glad to see you? It's Hildegard. She never came back after she went to say a prayer for Tannic. I think I could use your help. After Tannic was injured during the Grand Sermonizer incident, Hilda went to pray for him, and I haven't seen her since. No one has. It's not like Hilda to just disappear without saying a word to me or Astara. She loves temples, but the trouble in Kvetch made her avoid the big cathedral. Lately, she's been visiting the great chapel of Dibella in Anvil. I think the ritual soothes her, you understand? Will you come to Anvil and help me find Hildegard? I'll meet you at the chapel in Anvil. Hopefully we'll find Hilda curled up and sleeping under Dibella's statue. Just be careful when you get to the city. The Pirate Queen hates the Brotherhood almost as much as the Sermonizers do. She likes to commune with the divines and with nature. And she takes on contracts like the rest of us. So it's not that unusual for her to be away from the sanctuary. But with the recent attacks against us, I can't help but imagine the worst. I hope she's alright. But who knows what to think when the world turns upside down? Someone's been murdering the murderers. If Hildegard's been hurt, or worse, I don't know what I'll do. What are you implying, Initiate? Hilda is like a sister to me. Ever since I found her, I've been trying to help her come to grips with her situation. She may be a werewolf, but she's a good person. The Brotherhood is lucky to have her. Why is that so hard to believe? She's an excellent tracker and a ruthless killer in werewolf form. Sometimes she brings back body parts she's still gnawing on, but who hasn't gotten lost in the moment a time or two? And I always clean up the mess. The Pirate Queen hates everything she can't control. The Count of Kvetch, the Primate, us. She wants to rule the entire Gold Coast, but we're not willing to just roll over and give in to her demands. We're independent, and we like it that way.
I hope you find her. Foolish girl, running off now of all times. Just bring her back. I don't need you to look after me, Initiate. I've seen more death than most and sent more than my share to the Void. He was entertaining while he lasted. Perhaps even more so than some of my previous diversions. But that's all he was. What, do you think I loved him? I learned long ago to discard such silly notions.
You and the Nord seek the girl. My research suggests she is a confused and tormented individual, prone to blaming herself when misfortune strikes. My conclusion? She's going to get herself killed. It isn't? I'll make note of that. Perhaps this will be more useful. Chasing after Hilda will likely result in your death as well. Not once did I deny that. I simply set the facts at your feet. To act despite this knowledge would not be such a terrible thing.
So you decided to help find Hildegard, huh? Well, there's no shame in helping your brothers and sisters. Just don't let it interfere with your other duties, Initiate.
Hilda's not here. Let's ask around and see if any of the worshippers have seen her.
Bask in the holiness of this sacred place, and let your troubles fade away. I have seen many such women in this city. I heard the governor wore one at a recent appearance, and now the custom has become a sort of fashion statement. Sorry I cannot be of more assistance to you, Wayfarer.
Now I've lost my train of thought. Well, since you've already interrupted the writing process, what can I do for you? A Nord? Here? Is that even possible? I have it on good authority that the typical Nord melts in hot temperatures. Come to think of it, I'm surprised I've never met a Nord. One more thing to do before I finish my memoirs, I suppose?
I wonder if I can get a priest to tell me how they keep the fires burning. I hope it's not one of those sacred secrets that they're always going on about. Now that you mention it, I remember a young woman. No, wait. That was a wood elf. Carried around a bouquet of flowers. Talked to them, smelled them. Then she ate them! Really, wood elves are very strange.
My, someone is certainly curious about this Nord girl. I wonder who she could be. Your interest in this young Nord woman has certainly piqued my curiosity. Tell me who she is, and I'll tell you what I saw. I saw a young Nord with a flower in her hair talking to Chanter Nemes over by the Akatosh shrine. I remember because it was so odd. He was whispering in her ear and standing much too close for a man who wasn't her father or her lover. Oh, believe me, I tried. When they were finished, the poor young woman had tears streaming down her face. She ran out of the chapel as the chanter looked on. He had a self-satisfied smile on his face. Do you think he said something improper? I knew that chanter was up to no good. Sneaking around, meeting with mysterious young Nords with flowers in their hair. It's simply scandalous. Don't worry, though. I'll leave your friend out of this when I tell my story at the tavern tonight.
Troll's blood! Can these people gossip? They're worse than the Rat Master's informants, and he pays them to dredge up secrets! Hilda was here, but no one can say where she went or when. Tell me you had better luck, Initiate. A chanter spoke with Hilda? That's not what I wanted to hear. Understand, Hilda isn't like us. She grew up in the wild. The idea of being civilized is really new to her. And she still feels guilty about the wolf that's inside her. It certainly sounds that way to me. It doesn't take much to turn her guilt about what she's done as a wolf into self-loathing. I'm constantly trying to get her to change her feelings on the matter, but her beliefs run deep. Back to where it all began. Back to Skyrim. I'll check at the docks to see if she's tried to secure passage on a ship. You go talk to the caravan master. Hopefully one of us will discover which route she took to go back to where the wolf was born.
The next caravan will be ready to leave shortly, if that interests you. Find a place nearby to sit for a spell, and I'll call you when we're ready. Well, isn't that interesting? You're the second menacing stranger that's asked me about a Nord who may or may not have fled in tears. Even if I had seen this young woman, why do you think I'd tell you anything? Right. Her family. The way that young woman was crying, you'd think Molag Bal himself was after her. Or someone like you. If I had helped the Nord, and I'm not saying I did, you'd have to do a lot better than that to get me to tell you anything. Sorry. I protect my customers and their secrets. I've got nothing else to say to you.
Caravan Master, please! The young woman with the flower in her hair, she's in terrible danger!
Well, look at you! You must be the brother.
So you did see Hildegard? Please, you need to tell us where she's gotten to.
You're all she talked about other than begging me for transport. She said she was gonna miss you most of all.
Word on the docks was that the Silver Dawn was looking for my sister too. We need to know where she went.
The young woman wanted a ride to the Yarral Mountains. Sent her on the last wagon, but I can take you there if that would help.
We'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Sorry I gave you the runaround, but I was just trying to protect my passenger. Those Silver Dawn ruffians came around asking about her right before you did. I didn't say a word to them either. Just let me know when you're ready to go to Skyrim.
The news about the Silver Dawn has made me even more concerned about Hilda's safety. We have to hurry! The Silver Dawn are werewolf hunters. Whatever that chanter said to Hilda has made her run back to the wilderness where I found her. And now a hunting party is on her trail. They're going to kill her, Initiate!
Sorry I gave you the run. Then hop aboard the wagon and let's get going. I'll get you there as fast as I can without throwing a wheel. Well, at least without throwing more than one. If the Silver Dawn hunts your friend, you better be ready for a fight.
Let's split up and look for Hilda. But stay alert. The forest is probably crawling with Silver Dawn hunters. It's me, Hilda. Your big brother. Calm down. We're here to help. Remember yourself. Remember who you are. That's good, little sister. Very good. Now breathe. Relax. I've calmed Hilda down, but there's still so much we don't know about what happened and what she was thinking. You should talk to her, Initiate, but be gentle. We've all had quite a day.
I did not mean to cause so much trouble. I never meant to put you or Cole in harm's way. I meant to, but the chanter told me I had to flee. He said my past and my wild nature were going to cause the people I love to come to harm. He said the deaths of other brothers and sisters were my fault, and it was going to get worse if I remained. Chanter sings to the divines. He speaks for Akatosh. I had to tell him things about me, about my family. It had happened before. I was a danger to my wolf clan. Now I am a danger to Kor. You and the others. You're all better off without me. No! I will let Kendall do that. He told me to return to my old life. To the wilderness. He said I'd be safe. That no one else would get hurt if I left. He promised that Akatosh show me the way. You really done that? Even after I abandoned the family? You still follow me around? I'm so sorry I caused so much trouble. I let my fear allow the chanter to deceive me. That is not going to happen again. Kor and I, we'll handle things together. Now that it's all over, I feel like I fought for listening to the chanter. You might have hate me in a visit one of the nights, and even the score. I guess you never heard. I grew up different. My parents were lords, but we followed a different path known to other lords. We admired the weird beasts, not wanted to be like them. We like them a lot. My clan were hunters. We worshipped your scene. Becoming a werewolf hunter like that. It was the brave thing done. But I could not control my wolf form. I hurt someone badly. After that, I ran away to save them. That was just... I lived on my own. Lived in the mountains. I was wild. Feral. Then Kor found me. He took me and gave me a family again. If not for him, I don't know where I am right now. Well, if I might make that damn chanter pay.
Let's get back to Anvil. I'm done with this place.
Looks like you found our friend. And all our limbs are still attached. Are you ready to return to Anvil now? Are you sure? Nothing else we need to accomplish before we head out?
Now that it is all over, I feel like a fool for listening to the chanter. I might have to pay him a visit one of these nights, and even the score. I guess you never heard. I grew up... My clan were hunted out at first.
Thank you for saying such kind things to Hilda. I know she's taking your words to heart. You did good, Initiate. I'm glad you're one of us now. I know, and I will. I'm just not eager to see Astara. She won't be pleased when she hears about this. I wish I knew what Chanter Nimbus hoped to accomplish. Someone needs to stick a fork in him and call him done. Anyway, we'll see you back home.
Now that it is all over, I feel like a fool for listening to the chanter. I might have to pay him a visit one of these nights, and even the score. You do that? For me? Thank you. Chanter Nemes tends to the Akatar shrine in the chapel of Dibella. He spends a lot of time in the chapel office when he isn't lying to foolish young women. Make him feel pain before you kill him, alright?
Look at those two. You wouldn't know them for assassins of the Dark Brotherhood just by looking at them, that's for sure. Thanks for making sure this ended well. I'm loath to admit it. Something strange is going on. It's hard to believe that a single armored warrior in a scary helmet could be behind these troubles, though. It feels bigger, like we have enemies surrounding us, just waiting to attack. That's just it. The Dark Brotherhood doesn't have a lot of enemies. We're just business. Most prefer to stay on our good side or utilize us to their own ends. As long as they meet our price, we're happy to oblige. Why destroy such a useful tool? Someone would need a lot of influence to go against us in such a brazen manner. I can't imagine who that would be. Just watch the shadows while you're out and about. Seems we're not the only ones prowling them these days.
Thank you for helping me see that I do belong here. That I belong with my family.
You helped bring Hilda back. I owe you for that. Thank you.
Don't worry about me.
First Tannic, now small Hildegard. I suppose if you were in league with the Black Dragon, you would not have saved them. Interesting. Let me jot that down. Is that so hard to believe? If I were hunting the Brotherhood, I would certainly attempt to infiltrate their ranks and destroy them from within. No one still living has my complete trust. I would advise you to walk a similar path in that regard. But I don't believe you're the killer. Not anymore. But something makes my scales itch. Something I'm missing. Further research is required. I prefer not to act on a hunch. For now, let's continue to work our contracts and hope an opportunity to unmask the killer presents itself.
I understand we have you to thank for Hildegard's safe return. Are you going to tell me what happened, or do I have to torture Kor until he sings? I hope you're right. But why do the Akatosh priests seem to be moving against us? First the sermonizers, now this. Are they trying to take advantage of our recent setbacks? Or is there something more going on here? At least Hildegard is safe now. I need to think about these most recent events. Brothers and sisters murdered. The priests of Akatosh preaching against us. It's like storm clouds are gathering over the sanctuary, and I don't like it. But you have contracts to deal with, I believe.
My accommodations are unacceptable. I had my own chambers in the Mage's Guild.
If you feel so strongly about it, we can mail you back there. In pieces.
It's just the way she is. Don't let her get to you.
I didn't ask your opinion, dog handler.
Wonderful! As though they're related.
It's not my gold, but I'd suggest you get to work on that contract. Mournhold's a nice place to visit, but, well, you know. I do get a little homesick on occasion. A night of dusky beauties and Sujama scrib jelly shots are hard to come by on the Gold Coast. Here, save a little for your next visit.